nobody's ever given me anything. I've had to work hard for it all, and I promise you, public service is a calling, and I feel that calling on my life. And I will tell you that we're going to continue to carry our message all across Georgia into July, and I'm excited about, sharing more about our vision.
That was Republican gubernatorial candidate Casey Cagle on primary night talking about the road ahead to the July 24th runoff between him and Secretary of State Brian Kemp. The two men led the field of 5 GOP candidates, but no one got more than 50% of the vote, which is required to win the nomination. Lieutenant Governor Cagle received 39% of the votes on primary day, while Secretary of State Kemp pulled in 26% support. So it is now a race to convince voters that they have what it takes to beat the Democratic nominee, Stacey Abrams. And joining me this morning to talk about how he plans to sway voters is Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle. We appreciate you being here. Good morning to you.
Good to be with you. Thank you so much, Bob.
I can't imagine how nuts your schedule is right now. We're talking about 50 days out from this runoff election. It's a 9-week run. That is a very long stretch. Is it too long, first of all, and what are you doing between now and then?
Well, I do think it is too long, but that's the circumstances we find ourselves in, and obviously we're working extremely hard. But the good thing is you have the opportunity to get out and meet so many people, travel the state, and that's exactly what we're doing. It is nonstop, early mornings and late nights, but that's what is required in order to get your message out.
All right, so in your opinion, what is the biggest issue facing Georgians that you think will ultimately decide who gets to face Stacey Abrams in November?
Well, I fundamentally think that Georgians want to see Georgia continue to be great. And when you look at every statistic, we're the #1 place to do business in. Our GDP growth is the best in the Southeast. Every measurement that is out there, with the tax cut that we have done, along with historic job growth, all of those things have made Georgia what it is. And so Georgians want a proven, consistent conservative leader who knows how to govern and is not going to back away from those conservative principles. And so certainly that's who we are, and that's the message we're delivering.
Let's talk about some of the issues. And when we see these political ads that we've seen, certainly gun control is one of the big issues in this election. You've said that you want to expand citizens' ability to protect themselves and their families. What is your plan, and how are you going to accomplish that?
Well, I do think it is obviously important that Second Amendment and that right that individuals have to be able to continue to bear arms and to do what's necessary to protect themselves and their families. And so we're going to continue to be a strong advocate in that area. I've been the only candidate that's been endorsed by the NRA and certainly have that conservative record around protecting the NRA.
Let's talk about taxes. Everybody wants to talk about that. You've committed to lowering them for families and for small businesses across the state, while at the same time balancing the budget and reducing waste. So first of all, what are some of examples of this waste that you're planning on reducing, and how does all that work together?
Well, it is important to note that, one, we passed the largest tax cut in Georgia history, $5.7 billion. We've reduced the rate from 6% to 5.5%. I think we can get below 5% in the actual income tax rate in 4 years. I want to do that through zero-based budgeting along with program-based budgeting, so every agency understands what their real core mission is, and being focused in that effort, not simply about money but in outcomes. I think we can cut about 10%, and we can use that to reinvest in the things that we need, certainly infrastructure in terms of roads and bridges, but also broadband in the rural communities as well.
Another topic we've heard a lot about is illegal immigration. How big of a problem is that in our state, and what do you plan to do about it?
Well, first and foremost, you're exactly right. We have one of the toughest illegal immigration bills in the country that I helped shepherd through, along with ending sanctuary cities. Right now, currently, I am in the squabble with Decatur because they are violating, in my opinion, our sanctuary city law by not allowing their local law enforcement officers to communicate and cooperate when you have a federal detainer of a criminal illegal alien in your presence. And so obviously we're going to ultimately win on that, but I think it's being strong, making certain that there's a right way and a wrong way, and the federal government needs to act. But until then, we have to do what we have to do here in Georgia.
Let's talk traffic. As our state continues to grow, specifically the metro Atlanta area, traffic is becoming a bigger and bigger issue. Can anything be done?
Absolutely, it can. We've got to think outside the box. We have to look at a 10-year strategic plan that really looks at how do we go under, how do we go over, and how do we go around. And ultimately, we spend more on right-of-way acquisition than we do road construction. We've got to look at how do we get off-grid to do things that are critical. That's why the elevated road systems can be important. But also utilizing the asset in the most efficient way with reversible lanes by the use of movable barriers. So you put a premium to get in the city in the morning and obviously reverse those to get out in the evening. All of those things are very critical, and so we're going to be a governor who's going to have a very strong strategic 10-year plan to where we attack the greatest issues that we're confronted with first.
All right, politics can get dirty. We all know that's just how the game is played sometime. Right. You and Secretary of State Kemp have both been in state politics for a long time. A two-part question here. What's the nature of you guys' relationship? Are you guys buddies? And also, what's the biggest difference between you two guys as we look at these issues? Well,
we are buddies, and obviously I have a great deal of respect for him. Our record, I think, is the biggest issue. Being a lieutenant governor, serving with two governors, I know how to balance a budget. I know how to protect our AAA bond rating and making sure that we have a vision to create jobs for the future. I have a commitment for 500,000 jobs in the first 4 years. Regulatory environment that really streamlines the process to get businesses up and running, and a workforce that is second to none. Building out the College and Career Academy network that I created in 2007, where we have 46 of those where kids learn and are able to explore career pathways to find their passion in life and pursue that, and create an educational system that is aligned with industry needs. And that pipeline is what is going to really distinguish us going forward. So certainly my record as on public policy and being true to conservative principles, I think distinguishes us.
Almost out of time, but I just wanted to ask you quickly, what is the biggest difference? Governor Deal, a very popular governor, biggest difference between a Casey Cagle administration and the current administration?
Well, obviously, I mean, his administration and policies is something that obviously I've been very supportive of. Nothing happens in a silo, and partnering with him has been wonderful. For me, obviously, I'll have different agenda, a different focus, a different direction, leadership that I want to bring to the state. It really is around this workforce development. I think that's the greatest issue that we are confronted with. Our labor participation rate is at the all-time low, and we got to be focused like a laser to make it difficult for individuals to sit at home and do nothing, all right? But we need more people back into the workforce. We're going to have additional adult retraining programs that are available, but also at the high school level as well.
All right, Lieutenant Governor Cagle, we appreciate you coming in this morning.
Great to see you. Thank you.
Hope you continue to stay healthy as you go all the way across the state for the next 50 days. Good luck to you. All right, tomorrow, Secretary of State Brian Kemp will have his turn to share his mission and his vision. He'll also join us live for an interview during the 8 o'clock hour of Good Day Atlanta. It's 8:23 coming up on Good Day from